Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Misfits Marbula 1 2026. As we can see, some of our contestants are on the track getting prepared for the first season. Today is April 29th. It is currently about 4 a.m. in the morning. For me, I'm your host, Null, as you know, Null Profeto. And we will see our Marble athletes here compete at the Honey Dome for Misfits Marbula 1 2026 April. End of April, race 1. We have 22 marbles accounted for. We have Ruby, Annie, Aspen, Benz, Cade, Garcia, Vito, Willow, Penny, Brat, Kane, Nips, D, Hans, Money, Sammy, Shiko, and of course, the hangarounds, Brian, Haiti, Jed, and Raven. That is a 22 marbles ready to go, and we shall see if anybody can take the first win for the 2026 end of April season 1. All right, let's get to it. Let's see how it goes. Let's see. This is random start. Brat does have the advantage. He's going to be taking this first corner here. Let's see how the Brat going to be taking first place. Everybody taking the right. Everybody knows on this Honey Dome track, the left lane, because they get clipped here, but that's going to be a roadblock. Brat still taking that first place. Let's see what we will do. Brat, Raven, Kane, Annie, Money, first through fifth. Brian cuts for sixth place. Brat's going to be leading the pack for the first lap here in the Honey Dome. Raven right behind, but anybody can be scattered about. We have Kane now in second place, overtakes Brat. The other the two C's, the C brothers, Kane and Cade, second, third. Kane overtakes Brat, but does 1050 quite a bit. Now Brat taking the left, Annie on the right there, but let's see, Kane overtakes and will take the corner. Now Kane's gonna be in first place for lap 2 as he hits the second red corner. Brat overtakes on the red because Kane takes it a little wide as we head to the white square bridge. Brat still holding it off from Kane, and let's see how anything will change. Brat right now being the fastest lap. Ladies and gentlemen, mind you, these lap times are about 30 seconds, and we will see anything can change. Anybody? Oh, Brat does 1050. Kane's gonna be in front. Oh man, Annie right behind. Kane now gonna be leading lap as he hits the second red triangle corner. As we approach the white bridge, we have a 3-pack of Brat, Annie, Brian. As we enter the bridge, Brian does take slightly off, but Annie and Brat does 1050, and Brian also overtakes Annie, meaning he's gonna be second place here, starting at the fourth lap. Sorry, Brian does 1050, Annie second place. Cade on the right, Brat on the right, Annie, Brian on the left. Brian does hard crash. Annie does go through. He passes through. Kane attempted to block but bounced back too far off the track, and now Annie's going to be in first place. And we see Annie, Kane, Brian, Raven, Brat, Cade, D, Willow, Jed, Benz, Money, Vito, Penny, Sammy, and Ruby for the time being back towards the front of the pack. Annie trying to hold her own here in the first place starting of lap. Oh, Nips, as you can see in the background, Nips did fly out of the track, so Nips unfortunately is going to be DNF. Annie takes a left, but Cade and Raven on the right, they're going to have advantage here, but they will crash. Raven does block Annie, meaning Raven claims second. Kane in third, Brian right behind. Annie does overtake on the red triangle as we head to the white bridge. Kane leading in front. Annie does overtake us. Kane does unfortunately spin out a little bit to the left in that turn. Annie now in first place. Kane third. Brian has the speed. Can he beat Annie on this corner? No, Annie does get it and manages to block Brian, but now Brian takes the right lane. Annie, Kane on the left. Kane does take that slight right, and Brian blocks Annie. Now what will Annie do here? As we approach the red rectangle, Annie does block Kane. Kane attempted to overtake, but Annie says, nope, not today. Brian is approaching the lead pack at the white bridge as we approach the final red corner. And let's see what happens here. Brian and Annie lining up. Brian does have the main advantage. He's going a lot more straight than Annie, but he does crash out. Brian tries to squeeze back in, but now Annie's going to be first. Jed, out of nowhere, is going to be taking first place, but does take that right lane. He's going to have the advantage here. Going to crash against Annie. Annie pushes through, breaks through first place. Jed right behind. And Annie being in a competition for first place here by Jed. And behind Jed for third is Brian. Two hang-arounds showing what they're worth, as Annie is desperately trying to show why the older members are not to be trifled with. Kane now also showing as one of the older Misfit members. Jed does claim the front. Kane in front of Annie now. Jed's taking the right. Annie, Kane to the left. And the rest of the pack approaching. Brian right behind. Raven, Willow on the right side there, but they are not going to be able to block. That means Jed, Kane, Annie and Brian going to be first through fourth. Let's see if there's anything else changes here as we approach the next area here with the red corners. Jed still trying his best to follow Kane. Annie is third. What will she do? She's slowing down Brian. That means Brian gets an overtake here for free, but Annie does take the left. Annie, it fails. Now Annie's going to be in fourth place. Brian goes to the right, does 1050. That means he's going to be fourth place. Kane taking that left path. Jed, Annie right behind. This is only lap 9, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of things can happen. Everybody knows Marbula racing can change in a flick of the wrist. Let's see the rest of the track. Only Nips. That's so unlucky, man. Nips is a very strong contender. I'm amazed he flew off the track. If anybody's been watching the old Marbula, everybody knows Nips. Nips was first place for quite a few of the races, so that's just unfortunately seeing the season coming back. Kane on the left here, Jed and Annie following that right path, but that means Kane's gonna have advantage for this segment of the track, and as long as he sticks to the fundamentals, he can just hold this lead. But of course everybody else trying to wolf that down, but that's at least, let's see, 1 2 3 4 5 seconds of advantage. Kane just holding it at start of lap 11. That means 10 more lap. And let's see how things will change. Brian, Annie fighting it for second place, but Annie does hold the defense, trying to her best to catch up with Kane. And now Willow is right behind Brian. Behind Willow is going to be Jed, Raven, Brat. That is your top 7. And now Kane still at the white bridge. Still has a pretty good, maybe like 1 second advantage. Annie getting pressed by Willow for the second. Mind you, Willow does have the fastest speed, and she does show it here. Her fast speed, she does take second place. And, ooh, Willow does hit the barrier first. That means Annie bumps into her. And unfortunately, Willow does 1050 into the middle bumper. That means Kane tried to block Annie, but now Annie's in first place. But, oh, man. That means Annie has the advantage until that red corner. As we know, the fickleness of Marble Racing. Brian, Willow, Jed, Brat, Raven. Pretty consistent. Vito and Money just following Haiti. D, Hans, Benz, Cade, Ruby. Following Annie into the 13th lap. Barrier gets hit. Let's see what happens. Kane right behind. Annie does take the left, which is what the Marbles want to do, and she does position it to the left, so she has the speed. Kane does take that slight bump, so that means he's going to be slowed down. Going to be looking through the view of second place right now. Kane trying his best to catch up with one of the founders of Misfits, Miss Annie, in the front. This is about 1 2 3 4 5 6 seconds advantage, but anything can change as we approach the 14th lap. Willow third place. Brian, Jed gonna be 4th and 5th. Let's see what this top 5 is. So Willow is gonna slow down Jed right behind, but they're gonna take the right here when Jed follows, and that means they're gonna have a, let's notice that segment that Brian does overtake. So now Brian's gonna be in front of Jed, but behind Jed, Raven and Brat. Jed still defending against Raven here, but as we move forward, Brian, Willow, Kane, and Annie's just so far in front, man. I just, oh man, She's sticking to fundamentals, I guess. If only she was this good at racing in City, huh? Sorry, Annie. But anyways, oh man, that's a huge advantage. Way, way, way in front. And at this point, I want to say it's pretty set unless Annie just crashes out a significant account. So with that being said, we're just going to be watching Willow versus Kane as they try to catch up here. The fundamental marble race line, as everybody's trying to do, is always try to hit the apex. Obviously, marbles don't want to turn. You know, you guys kind of have a beefed up engine in there. Kane gonna take that right path. Willow on the left. Willow does take that perfect line and goes immediately left, so that means she's gonna be right behind Cade here. Jed following Willow, drafting. This draft from Jed, it works! So that means he overtakes Jed, now in front of Kane. Can Jed, as one of the newer hangarounds, show off to these older generation Misfits members? We will see. We will see. Kane following the low ramp. How far is Annie? Oh, Annie is so far, man. Holy. Kane, Jed following the left lane. Let's see who else. Willow does 1050 in the middle. That means she's going to be slowed down quite a bit. Kane is actually really close to Annie again. But we'll see if Kane or Jed possibly is going to challenge Annie for her throne of first place as we reach the white bridge into the final red triangle, into the downhill. Let's see what happens. Lap 18 starts now. Kane taking it a little rough, but Kane takes the right, which, as we know, we don't like that right lane, but Annie might... No, she does not screw up. She does hold the fundamental line and will be holding first place. And we will see if Kane does catch up behind Jed, Brian, Willow, Brat, Raven, Hans, and Sammy, fighting with Raven, Haiti, drafting together. Oh, Raven and Haiti does, unfortunately, 1050 into the walls as we look back as look forward. Annie's lap 19 as Kane is still trying to wolf her down. Both of them taking that right path. But let's see if anything changes. Kane is literally like you could literally just, the distance is there. The distance is there. Brian is still holding the fastest lap, but we will see. As far as I recall, I do give a bonus point for holding the fastest lap in the Marbula Misfits April. And we will see as we reach lap 20. And he does take that left lane. Kane right behind Jed, also trying his best. I mean, honestly though, for a new Marvel athlete, third place is pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. And Kane still trying to find the flow. Needs to catch up, and he does take that left rectangle, but so does Kane. And that means Annie's gonna be leading without impairment, but it's still anybody's game. What if Annie falls out the track right now? God, watch that actually happen. Annie does take the right lane. I think this might be a mistake. No, it's not, because Kane does hold the right lane. Kane, Jed right behind. Can we witness an upset? Otherwise, Annie's just gonna take it away, which you guys might say this shit is rigged. I swear to God, it's not. It's literally random placement, and I just let the marble athletes go. And Aspen's actually gonna get lapped if this race was still gonna go, but it looks like Annie's uncontested, and she will be your race one of the Misfits 2026 leader. All right, no, this is the last lap. I'm sorry, I thought it was the last lap, but man, this is the last lap. Jesus, I was too excited to claim Annie winning. But man, like, oh man, even for the final lap, Annie's uncontested. But damn, that sucks for Aspen though. Like, she would actually get lapped here by Annie if this race were to keep going a little bit more. But ladies and gentlemen, there you go. Annie with a huge lead is gonna be your Marbula 1 Misfits 2026 Season 1 winner. But the question is, why didn't there it is, the final laps. We have Annie in 11:08, Cade 2 seconds behind, Jed right behind. Actually, I think now I think about it, it did end correctly, just the fireworks never went. But there you go, ladies and gentlemen, that is your Honey Dome Race 1 winner. Unlucky for Nips, who is there. Flew off the track. I wish I could see what happened, but that's unlucky. Nips, next time, man. You'll get him next time. But there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Misfits Marbula 1, Race 1. I will catch y'all Race 2. My name is Noel. I'm out.